my Canasta friends. Welcome. I'm so glad you can join me tonight. In this live clinic, we'll be discussing all the basics when we play, plus tips and strategies. And we're going to play on real canasta or play a full game if we have some time within the hour. Please be sure to chat, and I'll try to answer all the questions that is in the chat. And if you have any suggestions on what a future topic could be, please share that also in the chat or in the comments below. Tonight's topic is about a safe discard. So we have a few tips I have what card to discard. Again, I teach Mahjong and Canasta. So if you have any interest in learning one-on-one with me, you can email me at mahjongclass@yahoo.com, or you can watch some of the videos. I also do coach and play, so we could spend some time one-on-one and I can coach you. Let's get into our topic tonight. And we're going to discuss about, again, safe discard. So you're in a game and you're looking to discard the person to the left of you. Now, this topic is based on the fact that you already know how to play. So if you don't know how to play, you might want to come back in like 10 minutes and then you can watch me how to play and maybe pick up some tips. But again, this is someone who you already know how to play and you're discarding to the person on your left. So one of the key factors of the game is trying not to let your opponents pick up that discard pile in modern American canasta. So again, it's your turn. You can't decide what to discard, not to give the pack. So you have to be careful. Make sure that you're not giving them the pack. So the first thing I always do is the opponent on my left. What did my opponent on my left discard? You can look back 3 cards in this discard pile to see, and that might be a safe card to discard. However, be careful, they could be baiting you. Number 2, so that would be one you could get rid of, is what the person discarded. Number 2, who melded what? So who put down the opening initial meld? Was it the person on my left? So if they put down aces and jacks, pretty sure they probably don't have any more aces and jacks in their hand, so that would be a safe discard to discard to them. Maybe a few turns around later, they lay down 3 8s. Well, now they're not going to have 8s in their hand anymore, so put down an 8. So how I keep track is I move the card over to the right so I know that it's a safe discard to discard on my next turn. Number 3, card count. Card count, about how many cards have been discarded. You could use that as a safe discard. So for example, some of those, I call them baby cards, the 4, 5, 6, maybe there was a bunch in there, and you know that if you throw it, it's like the 7th one. So that would be a safe card to discard. And that brings us to number 4. Those are the baby cards that I had mentioned, as well as maybe there's a card that everyone was throwing in there earlier, and maybe it's the jack, and you know that there are a lot of jacks in there. So again, that's a safe discard. Number 5, a 7 or an ace. So remember, you always want to hold on to 2 7s and 2 aces. Even if you've been counting those discards, you want to make sure how many are in the deck. So if you're going to throw, even though you're looking for a safe discard, you could throw a 7, even though my rule of thumb is keep 2 7s and 2 aces. But if you have nothing to discard to the person on your left, you could throw a 7. Please make sure that it is not the 5th 7 and make sure that you're keeping track. It could be maybe the 3rd 7, and that would be okay. But now your partner has to understand that you're not keeping 2 7s, so it's a little risky move. Number 6, you look to the other team's melds and you see if any of them are in 5th or 6th position, meaning there's 5 of a rank on the table or 6, because that would mean they can't pick the deck, so that would be a safe discard. Number 7, a dead card is really the safest discard because nobody will pick it up. It's a completed canasta. So if the other team or yourself has a canasta completed, that is a safe discard. Number 8, battle card. That means melds that either team has 3 of, or the other team has 4. So that means that only one of you are going to get a canasta. So sometimes I use those as discards because you know that neither team is going to be able to pick it up because each team has it down. Meld 3 and discard 1. Sometimes you have multiple cards in your hand that are you're wondering, does anybody else have them? So it's getting risky, so you hope it works. So you'll meld 3 and discard 1, and you're hoping your opponent doesn't have it. They could have a pair, but again, this is getting down to the wire after you tried all the 8 above. And you can discard it and hope that you pack, and then they'll just meld the one that you discarded. And then number 10, account for cards, so that sometimes your opponent has 4 of a rank down and you have 3 in your hand. So you know that's 7, so they couldn't possibly have a pair. So you would discard that card. Instead of melding maybe the 3 cards you have in your hand, discarding them so that the opponents don't pick the pack. So you could try one of these in your next Canasta game. I hope I helped you about safe discards. Again, they're just 10 different ways that I came up with that I'm always thinking about during my game. I always say you have to be in everybody else's business. You have to know what cards they're holding in their hand. I have lots of videos on my YouTube channel, so head on over to Canasta Class, subscribe so you don't miss any when I upload any or I go live like this evening. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and if you'd like to see more topics like this, give me a thumbs up. Check out those videos. I thank you for your support, and as I said, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share with your friends. Maybe you have a friend that's looking to understand something and it's on my channel, such as sevens and aces. I have a whole video on sevens and aces. Or 5th or 6th position, what does that mean? So I'm glad you're here tonight, and again, put any questions in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them, and if you're re-watching this, put it in the comments. I always reply. Let's head on over to Real Canasta and we'll get playing. On Real Canasta, you have to sign up for a membership. I think you do get 2-week free trial, but once that is gone, you have to sign up for a membership. You can play with active people who are playing. You have to pick your meld base, and again, if you don't know what that is, we're not going to go over that too much tonight. You can go on to my channel and I have a whole thing about meld base, but I like playing base of 5. I'm going to do a new game, and I'm going to play fast, 5-card base, and I'm going to play invisible mode, which means I'm not going to play with live people. I'm going to play with the bots. You can play with live people at your choice. You just click on and play with them. It's lots of fun. I do it all the time. But tonight, for privacy purposes, I'm going to play with the bots. So we're going to sort by rank, and the first thing you have to do is always get rid of your 3s. And you can sort again, and we're looking for an opening of 125 between me and my partner. And right now I have my pure 3, which is what you need to start your 125. So I'm going to pick a card, and then I'm going to get rid of my 5. We're going to try to get 125, and I need to get another pair. Oh, I'm getting a lot of wilds. It's possible we can play a wilds to open. We're looking for a single tile to get rid of, so I'm going to get rid of my 8. So I have 100 points in 2s, but I don't have 125. Oh, now I have an opener of wilds. So I'm going to open with wilds and hopes that my partner has the remaining wilds. When you open with wilds, you do not need a clean triple. And I have one more extra. I'm going to discard a 4 in the hopes of baiting my opponents to think I don't have any additional 4s. I just received the talon of 4 cards for opening, and I can't use them until my next round. I put up a 3 and get a new card and take one for my turn. Now I'm going to keep sevens. I don't have to keep aces because my opponent just put down aces. Now my opponent is to my left. They put down aces. I'm going to assume they don't have aces. Now if I was computer 2, I would not discard an ace to this opponent because they could have a pair. But I'm pretty confident that I can discard an ace or an 8 to this opponent. So I'm going to go with the 8 first just to be confident that they don't have additional aces in their hand. That's 1 7. We have to count the sevens. 2 sevens. Oh yes, we got one card canasta. Now I'm going to discard the ace. So that was 2 sevens, 1 ace, 2 sevens is how I do it. We have a pair of jacks now and 4s. I'm still going to get rid of the aces. That's 2 aces, 3 sevens. Oh, nice 10s going out. So we have 3 10s and 3 4s. We want to get another canasta. I'm going to probably get rid of, now this is where we have to go through our checklist. So my opponent on the left did 8s and aces. We don't have that. My this opponent melded queens, but we don't have queens. Not that that would matter what they have out. I don't have a queen. It's a dead card. I don't have that. I do have a low point card, which might be my best bet. So I'm going to slide that over. I do have a 7, but there's already 3 7s in there. I'm going to be a little cautious on that. And we don't have any battle cards, which meaning we both don't have down a grouping. I think my safe bet is to do a 4. It is possible they could have a 4. We could look back 3 cards. He did a 10. Maybe it would be better for me to do a 10. Let's do a 10. That was good. We didn't do our single 9. Oh, good. My partner picked all the cards. It was a good thing we didn't do a single 9 because they had 9s. So sometimes it's not always your single card that you want to put out. You just have to make sure you understand what your opponent might have in their hand. Okay, the 10. We cannot pick up the 10. You would think we could because we have a pair, but we have 10s in 5th position, so it doesn't allow us to pick up the 10. So we're going to have to pick a card. And now my opponent picked the pack, so he or she has all the 7s, so I want to give the 7 to my opponent. We are trying to get out of this game because we have 2 canastas, so I am going to put out all of my cards that match. And actually we could go out, but I'm not going to go out because I have a feeling my opponent has 3 7s. So I'm going to do the 7 first. So I'm not even going to ask if I could go out. Oh, she had aces also. I'm going to have to wait and see. This is where we're battling. We have 8s and 8s. So I'm going to get rid of the 8 because I'm trying to set myself up to go out. I'm watching my opponent, what she's discarding. See, there's a 7. I'm thinking she might, I'm going to ask now if I can go out. Over here. She might have, oh good, she doesn't have any more 7s. So I'm going to put my 3 4s out and get rid of the king. So we won at 3,880 and their team 535. They did not get points for their 3s because they only had 1 canasta. And actually I can show you, they only had 1 canasta and we had 3 canastas, 2 mixed and 1 pure. So 2 mixed are 300 each and 1 pure is 500. So that's 1,100, and then we had 3 black 3s, which is 500. So you could see here, they put it out here. This is really nice program. They put it very nicely together. Our next round, and Canasta, you play to 8,500 points. And it constantly goes up and down. So we'll see where we come together. So I'm going to sort my cards with the arrows. Don't forget to put your 3s out first. You get a new card automatically. And then you take 1 for your turn. Sort again. Now we're up to 155 for opener. So this little 6 isn't going to make it. We almost look like we have a bunch of pairs. Maybe we could try for a special hand of pairs. The word special hand over here on the left will always show up until my opponent opens. They threw a queen. I do not have a pair. I'm going to hold on to my queen, and maybe I will get a pair, and 1's in there, so we'll see what happens. I'm going to get rid of my 7, because that would mean I'm telling my partner I have 2 7s. The other team is now opened. I had to be careful throwing to my person on my left. They threw a 10. I have 2 10s, so I'm going to take the pack. There's 11 cards there. We have 4s. I could add 1 4. And we have kings. I'm going to hold. I'm going to hold my queens. Maybe we can see if we can pick the pack again. Nobody has a canasta yet. Computer on my right opened. They with 9s, 8s, and 5s. So I'm going to try with a 9 to see if the other computer has it. And he did not, so that was a good discard. I'm going to pick it again. I have a pair of 6s. This is a good spot to be in. You want to keep picking every time. And I'll put the 9 out again. You just want to hold patiently. They put a king out. I'll go ahead and take the king. And I'll keep the 8s and discard the 9. Okay, now they're putting cards out, so you have to make sure that you pay attention what the other team's doing. We have 1 canasta. They don't have any yet. They're going to get one though soon. So he put out a 4. I'm going to go ahead and put out my queens. Maybe my partner has some wilds, and get rid of the 7s. I can't have more than 2 7s at the end of the game, or I'll be penalized 1,500 points. And you see how I move them over to the right? I have to get rid of them first. And I didn't put out the jacks because of the fact they have jacks out. So neither, if I put 4 jacks out and they have 4 jacks, neither one of us is going to get a canasta. But I could put 3 out just to get the points out of my hand and hold on to 1 in case I need it for a discard. I could put my 5s out. We still have some cards left. They haven't gotten their second canasta yet. I'm still trying to get rid of my 7s and now aces. I have 3 aces, so I got to get rid of 1. So that's 1 ace in the deck. Now they have their second canasta. So I have to try to put everything out now. I'm going to put out 3, 8s are already melted. I can't put them out. I can put my 4 out and my 3 5s and my jack, because in case they go out, I don't want to have the points in my hand. And I can get rid of my 7. I did put out that extra jack just to get rid of the points in my hand. I have plenty of discards here. I'm not going to be in any bad situation. The other team's going to go out. So our round, we got 1,620. Their round, even though they went out and they got 100 bonus points for going out, they got 1,300. We still won that hand though, technically. So let's do our next round. We're getting closer to 8,500 points. Sort by suit. Get rid of your threes first when it's your turn. Pick one for your turn. We are at 180, so these little baby cards aren't going to help us. The 4, 5s, and 6s, they're not going to get us to 180. So let's start getting rid of them. You always want to match your partner. So my partner actually threw out a 4, so I'm going to throw out a 4. Pick a card, another 4. Looks like my partner might be going for a special hand. There, he's throwing out queens. Oh, there's your first 7. Replace a 3, another 4. Yeah, my partner's going for a special hand. He's throwing out queens. We could probably go for a special hand, but I'm going to start getting rid of these 6s. They're not going to help me get to my 180. Maybe we can get pairs. Takes a while to get to 180. The other team's at 125. I'm not really sure why they're not melding. They're probably trying to go for a special hand. Only keep 2 7s. I'm going to get rid of the 3rd. They're probably trying to get some special hands so they can catch up a little bit. Oh, let's go for pairs. Maybe we'll get another big joker. I have special hands with 2 jokers, let's say. Yep, so very nice. So we got 2,000 points for that special hand of pairs. So if you saw, I forfeited my clean triple in order to try to get pairs. The other team got negative points because they had not even one canasta and they haven't even opened yet. And they also got negative 1,500 points for having, if you look over here, they have 4 aces, so they held on to more than 2 aces, and they get negative points 1,500. In addition to all the other points in their hand and minus their 3s. Let's do our next round. This is going to be quite simple. I don't think the other team has really gone up in score. Get rid of your 3. And you can sort again, and we're still at 180. Let's get rid of a 6. So if you don't want to count the cards in your head, because you don't have the point counts here, you can pop up the cards by clicking on them and count as they pop up. And then when you want to release them, you just hit the X over here on the left and it will close. So I have right now 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20. I am nowhere near 180. So I am going to start getting rid of my 4s. Probably could also go for a special hand. I'm going to try maybe to go for a zip code hand, which they recognize. But I'm going to try to also keep in mind trying to get 180. My partner's opening. And we match nice jacks. Very nice. I'm going to put my jacks out to get a canasta and get rid of my 5. The other team's opening. Now I have to make the hard decision of what to discard. I'm not going to do my kings or my tens. Those are fresh cards. I think queens are in here. I can do an ace or a seven. I think there might be, I don't recall 100%, but maybe 1 7. I'm going to do 1 ace so that I hold on to 1 ace and 1 7. Now my partner has the ace, so I'm going to discard my ace next round for a safer discard. And then she can count all the aces. One, 7. The count starts all over again. I'm going to put my tens out because I have 4 of them. And I'm going to put the kings out because we have 3 canastas. And so I'm trying to get out of the game. So I'm going to get rid of my ace. I can't lay down wilds until there's 5 of a rank in order to put down my wilds. 9 is a safe card. My opponents have, so they could not possibly have a pair to pick it. Jacks are closed. They're a dead card. It was a canasta. My partner hasn't shown me that they have 7, so that's why I'm holding on to the 7. To put down the 8, I would not be able to go out. So I can either get rid of the 8 or get rid of the 7. I'm going to get rid of the 8. Sometimes you have to forfeit a card. Now she just put a king down, puts me in a good position. Now I can go out. I can ask my partner to go out. You must ask before you lay down any cards. I'm going to close the kings, put the 8 down, and discard the 7. And we won the game. That was quite simple tonight. That was an easy game. Sometimes they go on for hours. That was done pretty quick and efficient. And if you have any questions, please place it in the chat. I'd be happy to ask. I can go ahead and start a new game. I'm going to play again, and we can maybe take it a little slower. I just wanted to show you. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 canastas, 5 canastas, 2 of which were pure and the rest were mixed. And we had 4 threes, 2 in red and 2 in black, so that's 300 each. The other team had 3 canastas mixed, and they had also 2 red threes and 2 black threes for 300 each. So the nice thing is they do tally it automatically for you, but if you're trying to learn scoring, I have a whole video on scoring on my YouTube channel, Canasta Class, and you can type in scoring. Let's play again, and I'll try to go a little slower. It's my turn. I'm going to sort my cards. You always keep aces and 7s to the left so that you don't discard them. I have to determine what card to give away. I have plenty of cards here. I actually have 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 points. I need another to get to 125. So I need another 35 points. I think I'm going to get rid of the 4 to start with. Oh, I'm sorry. I never picked a card to start my turn. Oh, now I have a pair. So that's going to change my discard. I'm going to get rid of the 8. Trying to get up to 125. I'm going to get rid of the 5. My partner opened already. and got rid of a jack. I kept that little pair of 4s, which is perfect. I can take the pack. And now I'm going to try to keep pairs. I could put down my pair of 6s here with a wild, but there's no saying what my partner has, so I'm going to wait on that. We have 8s, we have 9s. Maybe I'm going to discard the 10. I'm looking to pick the pack. Oh, my partner just put down 5s. And I need to discard 1. The other team's not even open yet. I might break up my king. I'm going to put out my 5, and I'm going to break up my kings. And worked out perfect. I'm going to take that jack to get my kings back and an extra one that my partner had. So I'm going to put out kings now. I have 4 kings. I'll put out my jack, and since the other team went down, let's put out what I can. Maybe I'll hold out on 6s. And I'm actually going to discard a 4. My partner must not have any wilds. I might go ahead and close that in a second. Let's close our kings. I always want to get 1 canasta. I'm going to put out my 6s and my 9s to get that other canasta. 9s I could have maybe held because they have 9s, but let's put out the 10. This person opened with 10s, it went around once, and the computer didn't put any 10s down. We have 2 7s, I'm going to hold my 7s. Now it's getting a little dicey. Queens would be a fresh card, so I think I'll put out the ace. A little crazy, but my partner should know I only have 4 cards. Now they only have 3. I think that's 2 7s. They have 10s. I think I threw a 10 before. I'm going to throw 10 again. 2 7s in the discard pile. Huh, that was interesting that he threw a jack. Guess he's hoping. We do need another canasta in order to go out. I could give Roy 1 7. That's 3 7s in the discard pile. I don't want to do another one. Okay, now we are ready to go out. We have 2 canastas. And I am in a good position to go out, so I'll ask my partner if I can go out. I will place the 4, the 3 queens, and the 7. And they got negative, so that's a good place to be in. My partner did have 1 ace and 1 7, so we each were keeping 1 and 1 until we couldn't anymore. So between us, we had 2. Sort it by rank. Put your 3s out first. And pick a card. Sort again. We are now still at 125. I have 3 aces now. I'm going to hold them for a minute to maybe open. I'm going to get rid of a 6, I believe. Let's see what my partner gave away. He gave away a 5. It's okay to do a 6. So right now I have 80, 90, 110. If I get another wild, I will have an opener. I'm going to get rid of the 4. You don't want to hold on too long. Oh, they opened, so it's okay now. But if they didn't open, we would have a problem that we could possibly get stuck with having too many aces. We might get stuck not being able to open because they had all the wilds. Okay, let's see what I have now. I have 20. This is where I was saying you can pop it up. And then I have my queens and my 3 nines. Should give us at least 130. Yeah, that gives us 130 with the other 9. Okay, so close it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 9. And I need to discard. At this point, any card I throw, except a low card possibly, is going to maybe allow him to pick the pack. I'm going to go with the 7. It's risky, but I'm going to go with it. I don't want him to pick the pack. See, that's why I didn't do the jack on from this guy. He just picked the pack. Got to be careful with your discards. And they have 1, 2, 3, 5, 4. So I'm going to get rid of a 4. Even though I have 2 8s, I'm not going to put them out because that would leave me with hardly any cards, and I have to help my partner here close cards. They have 4 5s. Oh, jacks. They have 6 jacks. I'm going to put out the 7th. Oh, would he just put out 6s? Now I know that's safe to put out a 6. I'm going to put out a 6. Not putting out my 8s yet. I don't think my partner has. If I get a wild, I'll put out my 8s. Oh boy, 7s are in there. And the aces. I'm going to put out my 5. Because they have 5s out. Yikes. I can put out, this is so risky. I'm going to hold the 10s. I'll put out my 8s. I doubt my partner has it. He only has 2 cards. I think they just put out 10s. I have 3 10s. That's 6 10s. Does he have a pair of 10s? Possibly. I'm going to put out a 10. I'll put out just for the points. Get rid of a 10. And I'm missing. I forgot we closed 9s. I could have did 9s. So my partner was true and kept 7s, which is nice to see, so that they couldn't get 7s. And each of the teams had 7s. I was the only one without 7s. So this was a draw. No one won the round. Point-wise, the other team won the round, but nobody went out. So let's start our next game. We're at 125. And I have some nice pairs here. My partner put out a 6, but I have a pair of 6s, so I guess I'll start with the 5. You always look for a special hand. If you can get a special hand, it's just greater point value. I'm going to keep that pair in case I can get my triple that way. And 8, 9, jack are all the same value, so I'm going to get rid of the jack. I got a triple. So we have 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40. So we have plenty. I'm going to see if they start throwing high cards. So I'm going to get rid of my 9. So we're ready to open, but I didn't open because I want to see if I can pick the pack. Wow, look at all the 3s they have. Oh, they threw a 9. I'm going to go one more time around, and I'm going to throw an 8. They opened. And I'm also going to open. So let's go with Joker, the kings, 3 queens, a 2, and the 10s. And let's get rid of one of these 6s. Oof, look at those 7s. That will be my next discard. Oh wow, look at all the 7s. I'll put the king out. Now I could have kept the king in hopes that could have been a good discard possibly. Gonna get rid of the 7. I was hoping my partner had 2 other kings and a wild. Wow, all the aces are just falling. Now I'm in a pickle. I'm gonna get rid of the 6. I know that's terrible. It's the only pair I have. Can't help my partner at all. I think that's 4 7s. I put out at least 2. I can't remember. I should have been keeping count. I was looking at what was going on at the table. This is a terrible hand. I can put it on the 4s, but that doesn't mean they're going to get a 4. Let's get rid of the jack. And my error, I should have put it on the floor to get the points out of my hand, but it really didn't matter because we had no canastas, so everything was negative anyway on the table and in our hand. But I could have put the 2 down because we did have 5, but my partner wasn't able to make any canastas. So that round we had negative 435, they had 4,200. Next round. Get rid of your 3s first. Hold on to your 7. And we got to get to 125 and take a card. Single 5. Pick a card. Pair of 7s. Maybe a jack. Actually, let's see. What did my partner get rid of? A 4. Let's get rid of our 4s. These are kind of low cards. I'm not sure we're going to get to 125 with them. Ah, these wild canastas is crazy tonight. Put your 3 out. I'm going to put my 4. I only have 110. Let's see, I have 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 110, 20, 30. So we can open. So we're going to want to open to help our partner. So they don't want you to put down a wild first. So you have to put down the rank and then the wild, because the computer thinks you're trying to meld with a wild card canasta. And I'm going to give away a 10, because that's what he put down originally, I think. Oh, great, my partner picked the pack. So I help my partner by opening. And we have a 4 to get their second canasta. So I'm going to put out everything I have to help my partner. And I'm going to get rid of a 7 because I think there's a bunch of 7s in there. And I'm going to get rid of another 7. I can take the pack. And I can get rid of a 10. And I have to get rid of 1 7. So we're in a good spot. Does anybody have any questions? I know a few of you are in here watching. I would love to hear if you have any questions. Now I just tried to meld this 9. I should have been paying attention. Their 9s are closed. Once you get a canasta, you can no longer meld for that grouping. So that's a great discard. Getting some nice canastas. Aces. Nobody has melded aces yet. So I'm going to get rid of my lower cards. We got 2,865 for that round. The other team got 3,430. It's a good thing I held on to that ace, because if the other teams were counting aces, you can see they had 2 aces here and 2 aces here. He might have picked the pack that last round and might have had all the aces. 7s were also available. They had 2 7s, so if I threw 1 7, they could have gotten the 7s. So it's good to hold on to 7s and aces. If you have any questions, feel free to put it in comments below. I'll be happy to answer them later on if you're viewing this as a rewatch. I've been on for about an hour. I played 2 games, so I'm happy. Won the first game and the other team won this game. I am playing against bots. I hope to do this in the near future. It might even be next week. If I could keep it on Monday nights, I will. I do have Mahjong class, which I do every Tuesday night at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. So if you're into Mahjong, you can head on over tomorrow night at 6:30 and look for me next week at 6:30 here on Monday. So if you haven't already, subscribe so that you get notification when I go live. And also, if you enjoyed my time here with you tonight, and I'm thankful that you joined me, give me a thumbs up. And I look forward to sharing next week with you with a new topic on canasta. Good night, my friends. Take care.